The Shockwave. Alright, so I don't want to go all fanboy on you guys, but let me tell you what. This is a really fucking sweet, pardon my language, censor that out if you need to on the YouTube replay, but this is a really cool, really cool device. So, before I talk about the device, I just want to show this to you real quick. So this is a 14500 battery, okay? This is an 18650 battery next to a 14500 battery, okay? This is a 26650 battery next to an 18650 battery next to a 14500 battery, all right? This is the one that the Shockwave takes, the 26650 battery. I don't even know how many milliamp hours this thing's rated for. No idea. It's a lot. It's enough. The voltage stays high for a long time on these things. So this device is awesome. Everything about it is fantastic. It hits hard. Incredibly hard. So I have a 69 mod. Yes, it's called a 69 mod if you're not familiar with it. It's because you can take the button assembly and switch the location, top or bottom. See what they did there. But I have a 69 mod. Clean contacts, well taken care of. I cleaned the contacts before I used it. I put the killer on top of that, okay? Depends on the size of your pockets. Generally speaking, I would actually say yes, because it's not much taller than, if at all, than a 26 or an 18650 device. But I'll talk about that in a bit. So I had this killer on top of the 69 mod. Used it for a little while. Good. Got the juice flow where I wanted it to be, so it wasn't dry hits, but it wasn't too, wasn't gurgly. Great. I take it off the 69 mod, put it on the Shockwave. First hit I take. Oh, God. Dry. That's gross. What did I do? I must have messed up with the juice flow control or something. I checked it. Exactly the same place. Hit it again. Hit it a couple more times. Every time it was a dry hit. It was because this thing is putting out, it has so little voltage loss that it's actually hitting that much harder than the 69 mod was. And the 69 mod is a pretty good performing device. So I had to open the juice flow control up just because I switched the device that I was using. Same voltage. I mean, it's not like a 26650 puts out more voltage than a freshly charged 18650. Sorry, they're both 4.2. I measured them, so the thing just hits hard. It doesn't. It's not as heavy as you would think it is. The metal is really thin. It's really, but not like flimsy. It's just thin. It's really well machined. It's really cleanly machined. You know what? Let me just run down the specs for you guys real quick. So I'll talk about these features individually. It's got an on-off switch, a master on-off switch on the bottom that looks like the T from Super T Manufacturing. I'll talk about that. The contacts are plated with rhodium. If you're not familiar with rhodium, it's an extremely pricey, precious metal that is highly conductive and also hard. It's not a soft metal like gold and silver, and it also doesn't tarnish. So the big negative to using that is that it is pricey, but they use rhodium plating on the contacts here. It has a lifetime warranty. Okay, awesome. The switch location is on the side. Don't love that. Not my favorite, but whatever. If that's the only thing I can complain about, it's really not a big deal. But I will say, the way that it feels, you can press that switch no matter what direction the air hole is pointing when you put your Jenny on top of this. So it's really not that big a deal. But anyway, I'll explain that in a little bit. It takes 26,650. It comes with a kick ring, which I should have taken out. My apologies. It comes with this. This is the kick ring. So this slides into the tube of the device, so that the kick will fit into this. As you can see, it's about the same diameter as a 18. See, look at that. Like so, right? Okay. So it's about the same diameter as an 18650 battery. So you can pop a kick in there if you want to. I personally don't use the kick anymore, but I know some people do. Yeah, that's true, Chris. It has a replaceable mechanical snap-in action switch. Okay, I'm not going to pop this out, but basically this switch assembly pops out crazy easily. You can just pop it out and replace it. It's rated up to 10 amps, okay? And it's really easy to remove. So if you do have an issue with the switch going bad, you can pop it out, send it to Super T, and they'll replace it for you for free. Pretty cool. And it's rated up to, like I said, it's rated at 10 amps and 10 million cycles. And it feels really nice. I know you guys have heard me talk about how I like a very tactile feeling button. Like you can really feel the click on this. You can probably hear it too. I don't know if you can hear that click, but also, there is no exposed spring at all in here. The way that the connection works so that it makes good contact with the battery without a battery rattle is this rhodium-plated contact at the top is actually spring-loaded. So this goes in, as you can see. So it's always a snug fit on the battery, okay? So it's got constant pressure on the top. It's got a plunger underneath the rhodium contact there. And I told you about that slide-out switch module, which is pretty cool. So that's the feature list from the site. Now, this guy is not readily available yet. This was a pre-order that's been taking forever. The pre-order list started like last April, and these things are finally hitting the market now for those that pre-ordered. So just give it a little bit of time. They should be available. I hope it's not a limited run because these are awesome, and I want to see more of them hit the market. I think that this could be a really popular device, much like how the Precise Plus has become a more readily available high-end device that's reasonably priced. Not out of the ballpark. I mean, you can get a good mechanical mod that performs really well for under $200. So these will probably not be under $200, but I want to see them become more available. So it comes from Super T Manufacturing. I should have posted the link. I apologize. It's exactly what it sounds like. supertmanufacturing.com. Take it easy, Mac. Thanks for coming by. Same place you can get the Precise Plus and other very nice devices, like the Ella. I think that's how you pronounce it. So, some of the other features on this. So it's got an on-off switch. This is really cool. So down on the bottom, you see this T? You can turn this just, you know, a couple clicks or one click depending on, and what it does is it telescopes out a little bit and it removes the contact or separates the contact at the bottom of the battery from the battery. Whoa. But you know, so now I fire it and you can hear nothing, and then you turn it back, and I did more clicks than I needed to, but and there it is. Now it's firing. It's pretty cool. And the thing that I like about the way that this feels, it's not like a regular lock mechanism that you've used. So you know, it's not like a button on like an Atom or a GG where you have like the little ring that you have to twist on the threading. Like with this, each little quarter turn, it clicks. It's really tactile. Everything about it is tactile and feels really well crafted and really well made. I think it looks really cool. Like the machining on it is beautiful. It's got battery vents on the bottom here. You can actually see the orange from the battery coming through there. Just everything about it. The finish on it is the super, super fine brushed finish that just looks awesome. I mean, I know I'm gushing about this thing, but it is a really, really well-made, really, really high-performance device. I don't know the dimensions off the top of my head. I didn't see them on the website, but just to compare this to we'll just put it up next to a Juggernaut, okay? So if you had, you know, height-wise, and now keep in mind the Juggernaut is a fairly compact hybrid. So if you had like a traditional size, you know, Genesis-style atomizer on the top of this Shockwave, it's not going to be that much taller than an 18650 hybrid. Or actually, it's probably shorter than an iHybrid. It's not going to be too much taller than a traditional 18650 device with an atomizer on top of it, I should say. It's a little bit taller because the switch assembly is a little bit bigger. But they save a lot of space in the base because there's no spring, and the button isn't in the base. The button assembly is up here. So, all right, buddy, come on. It's all stainless other than the rhodium contacts, like I said, and then obviously the switch assembly. I'm not sure what the electronics are that are used inside the switch. It is not purely mechanical. Which is one flaw depending on how you look at it. So the switch does have the possibility of failure, but it is a pretty high-end switch and capable of handling some serious output. 10 amps is going to be plenty for 99.9% of people that are using these devices. Oh yeah, Fred does. He likes to sit on my shoulder. Hey buddy. Yeah. The connection on it. This is also rhodium plated. You can't. I mean, obviously you can tell that that's rhodium, right, guys? Right? You know that that's rhodium. I can certainly tell. It has air grooves. Now, one of the things that I really like about this is, yeah, he does that too. So one of the things that I really like about this is pretty cool. So the top cap, if you want to use something that has airflow in the base, like a Penelope or like a Killer or something like that, see how it's tiered and it's got steps? So the 510 connection connects in there, but the 510 threading never covers up the air holes in the 510 connection. If you have something with air holes at the top of the 510 connection, they sit in that second tier where there's like a little bit of a well that feeds into those air slots on the side. So no matter how far you tighten this thing down, and even if you tighten it down to the point where it sits flush on the device, like with a Penelope, it's not going to restrict the airflow at all. Now you don't have airflow control, per se, but you do not have any restriction to the airflow. Let's see. What else? I mean, I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, it's awesome. It's big. It's going to be too big for a lot of people, you know? I mean, you know, I like the way it feels. I have really big hands. I don't think that it's as big. It's not as big as I was expecting it to be, though. I mean, yeah, the positive pin is self-adjusting. That is correct. But, like, here, let me just grab another... I'm going to grab another 26650 mod real quick, just to show you what I'm talking about with the size not being, you know, out of control. Okay? So... yeah, I know, you guys are going to hate me. Sorry. So this is what it looks like next to a Caravella. And now, I know... oh, he's showing off the Caravella again. Look. The reason I grabbed the Caravella is because... it's a very compact 18650 mod. So this will be the biggest difference you're going to see between an 18650 and a 26650. Okay? So this is like the most compact 18650 out there. Height and width combined. So it's, you know, it's a little bit wider, yeah. It's more that it's more tall than anything else. You know, it's got a good inch on the 18650 mod there. But the width isn't, I mean, it's bigger, but it's not like absurd. Okay? Even in a close-up. I don't know, you'd really have to feel it. And it's not super heavy either because of the way that they designed it. One of the interesting things too, I'm not going to show this to you, but the inside of this, so this top part right here on the top of the button, that's a solid piece of steel, but what they did was the parts that are solid, they actually drilled holes in it to alleviate some of the weight and remove some of the steel without affecting the strength. So, you know, they did a lot of things to make it not weigh too much for a device that's this big. Yeah, that's about an inch taller. Yeah, that's right about an inch taller, maybe an inch and a half. So, but the width, you know, it's girthier, but it's not an absurd amount. So, yeah, I mean, in summary, it's really good. I really like this device a lot. Do I like it more than the Caravella, which is, you know, my favorite device ever? Probably not. Do I like it more than the Bear Brass mod? Probably not. Which is a very, very close second favorite device of all time. As soon as we get a nice design on the tube, it might overtake the Caravella. If you're still watching, Al. Are you watching? Al's still in here. But the only reason is because, well, there's two reasons. I do prefer a bottom button. And it is big. It's not a tiny, you know, it's not a small device. It's certainly not a compact device. Don't think I'm trying to fool you into believing that this thing is some kind of, you know, tiny portable device. It's not. This is, you know, it's got a big flat bottom on it that's designed for you to be able to put this down on a table. It's like a tabletop at-home device. You know, you could leave a battery in there for 2 days and not have to charge the thing. Maybe longer than that, depending on how you vape it. So, yeah, it's kind of awesome. So, yeah, all right, I'm done gushing about this. I like it a lot. I think you guys got that.